Introducing the Diamond Factor Network, where we turn your business into a beacon of success. Imagine having your TV streaming show reaching audiences far and wide. It's possible with the Diamond Factor Network. Unlock the power of your brand with our state-of-the-art TV streaming platform. Your show, your way. Feature highlights, customized shows, global reach, and professional support. Coaching by Barbara J. Beckley, Purpose Visibility, and social media strategist. Ready to elevate your brand? Join the Diamond Factor Network today and let your brilliance light up the world. Shine bright because your success is our priority.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Coaches Lounge with yours truly, Barbara J. Beckley. So if you're seeing up there at the top, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. So I just want to introduce you by saying I'm just going to put it right out there. We need to give love and appreciation and respect to your coaches, to your consultants, to your educators in life. Because these are the people, when you think about it, that move and help you move your goals, move your objectives, move the needle in your life. And it's just rooting for you all the time and explaining things to you and saying, when you're saying, I can't do it, I don't know if I can do this anymore. How can I get to the next level? I just don't have it. I don't have it in me no more. And that coach is like, no, you do. You do have it. And let me tell you why. And let me tell you why we're going to keep moving with this. So I created this space because I didn't see a lot of shows or really, talk shows or podcasts that's really putting those coaches up on a pedestal. And I mean that we need to put them on a pedestal. I mean, I'm a coach myself, and it would be nice to get some love sometime, right? And I said to myself, yeah, so why don't I create it? Like I tell people, if you don't see it, create it yourself. The table's not there, a little saying, bring the table with you. So with that, it birthed out the Coaches Lounge, and you get to meet and I get to spotlight some wonderful experts in the field of what they do. And this is any kind of coach, any kind of educator. So when I bring on the women coaches, if you know me, I look at them as royalty and I call them queens. And we have an awesome, amazing queen that I've been waiting to interview for the longest because I've been watching her. I've been seeing what she's doing. She's been mentoring me without her knowing she's mentoring me. So, and when you see the jewels out there, when you do see people out there that's really out there, really making a difference. I'm just not talking about just being out there, but making a difference. Pay attention to that, because that's creating impact, and that can help you learn how to create impact in your own life as well for people. So Sharon Baker, amazing woman. She's the founder of Embracing Abundance Life Coaching. She is the renowned life coach, speaker, best-selling author, over 25 years experience in what she does in her field. Now, if that doesn't tell you anything else before I even get to more stuff, something is wrong with you. Because that's a lot of experience that you can say to yourself, she knows what she's talking about. Her career started in a corporate sector, excelling in people developing and project management, which laid the foundation, the groundwork for her coaching expertise, embracing abundant life coaching. She combines that with extensive business knowledge with the effective coaching techniques, offering personal strategies for both personal and professional growth. Amazing. And when I read what she does and I see what she does, I said, okay, she has to come on. I have to spotlight her. I have to let people know about this wonderful and amazing person. So before we bring her on, we'll be right back and you'll get to meet the wonderful, amazing, spectacular Sharon Baker. Barbara J. Beckley, and I'm a visibility and social media strategist. Hello, hello. Okay. Let's get us on here on screen together, shall we? There we go. How are you doing, Queen?
I am so blessed. I'm having a wonderful morning, a wonderful week. I am so happy that I'm able to touch base with you and meet with you and have a little chat here today. I'm really excited about that.
Well, yes, you just don't know. It's like a little candy, baby in a can with candy. I love this. This is my gem when I get to meet queens like you that is just making a difference in the world and what you do, especially when it comes to like life coaching and helping people get to what they're trying to do just for their dreams. I always say when you can help somebody get to their dream, that's so powerful. That is so powerful. Because a lot of times we're kind of, going all of like, okay, how do we do this? Where do we go? But when we can find somebody that can strategize with us like you do, to me, that's just the icing on the cake of getting us to where we want to go. So, Queen, I before we get into everything that you do, the expertise, how you help other people, I want to know what really like just open that back door and say, okay, how did you become this queen? How do you
Well, I'm
feel
going to
so
tell you,
powerful in this area?
um, I was just very fortunate. I was in corporate for a very long time, for over 20 years. And I was able to do so much stuff in that company that they were able to not only, position us for success by educating us, but I got an opportunity to do the other thing I like to do, which is serve the community. That's a part of us coaching is making sure that people know that we've got to serve others within the community. It's not just about ourselves. So that opened the door for all of those wonderful things. So I had a really good foundation when I decided to become a coach on the side, on my own, start my own business. And then I wanted to just inspire people to do the same thing. Many times we think we can't do anything, but if you got a plan, if you got focus and determination, you can do anything. And me as the coach being there as the advocate on the side, the cheerleader, I love that to be able to say, listen, you can do this. And so, but it started during the corporate and it opened up my mind and I just went from there.
Yes, I love you're like me. I'm like that cheerleading. I always tell people you're a cheerleader because when you see the potential of people, it's like you can see the forecast before they can and say, you know what, I see something in them that I know that could be so big, but they're not seeing it. So it's like
Right.
you're in your mind, you're like, I want them to see it. I can tell it's there, and then you guide them into that.
Mhm.
So I want to ask Queen, because I know being in the corporate world. Believe me, I've been over 25 years too. In fact, I'm still in the corporate world daytime, and then I'm doing
Mhm.
my business all the other times. When you first, like you said, you wanted to help other people, was there anything that you had to deal with or some challenges to the point where you got to this point of wanting to, like you said, really embrace and helping other people get to their dreams?
Well, it actually started back in childhood. I suffer from ADD and dyslexia.
Mm,
And during that time, this was back in the day, we did not have terms for that. We just know that a person was having difficulty and challenges in their schoolwork. But it was through me coming up with the technique of my own. I was 9 years old, Miss Barbara, and I was tasked with this word. It was photosynthesis, a word that was enormous. But it was then when I learned and developed a technique about how to break that word down for a test I was having. And once I was able to spell that word and ace that test, that set the foundation for me. And so I've always had an unbelievable amount of patience because of that, because I've had that issue myself. So I want to help people grow. So it started there. I was able to go ahead and, go to college, get a couple of degrees, go into the corporate world. And once I was in the corporate world, I was able to transition into management. And so that is the other thing that also let the foundation, because when you're able to manage people, you have an opportunity to really impact them. And so there was a lot about my job I enjoyed, but it was mostly my people. I enjoy helping them. So it's always been this help thing that's been there inside of me. So that kind of laid the foundation for everything that I'm doing now. But it started back with me not being able to do something and being able to overcome it. And then being able to say, listen, if I can overcome this, you can too. And that's where the motivational part started.
Yes, Queen. Yes, I love it, love it, love it. Because that's happened to me too. I think that happens to all of us in a certain instance in our life where either we dealt with some, challenge that we had for ourselves, and then we move out from that. We overcome that, and then we're like, but now I want to bring everybody else out of that. I
Yeah.
dealt, what you dealt with when you were younger, and then now what you had in struggles and stuff, and you finally got yourself. You said, you know what? I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit, and you made that determination, you made that, I always tell people, that choice, to stay with it, and look at how much, not only in your life, but you help so many others. You want to bring them along, so I love how you did that, and inspiring other people to move forward too, in whatever area that they might have a challenge in. And I think, like you said, back in the day, because I'm in the same like age range with you, they didn't know, they were like, okay, you're not paying attention. They would just use some things, but they didn't understand there was a there was a other health term here. It wasn't just I didn't want
Exactly.
to pay attention, or I was doing all over the place, or I wasn't talking or whatever. There was something there, but they didn't know at the time. Like you said, they weren't really figuring it out. I know when I was in class when I was younger, I was real quiet. And one of the reasons, I was bullied, for one, really heavily bullied. So I would stay quiet, and they didn't really figure out. They thought I was like a mute, like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, she doesn't talk, she can't speak. What's
Right.
going on with her? She kind of, and it wasn't that. I was just fearful because the people that were talking about me. But boy, when I grew up and I started learning how to get out of that, people start telling me now, Queen, okay, she don't be, she can't say, let's shut up. She won't he won't stop. And then with that, yeah, bringing people on like you have, saying, you know what, I was there. I don't want you to be there. I want to help you. So with your what you do as a coach, what you do as a mentor, I know there's some things that I wanted just to dig into what you meant, that you put on about sharing some of the elements that enhances the visibility in the coaching industry. I know you mentioned that, and then also mastering storytelling. And I think that is so important in life. Period. Just telling your story. So, can you just dig a little bit into that? How you work that out within your coaching?
Oh yes, it's wonderful. The example I gave you about the dyslexia and the ADD, I tie it back to a story with my grandmother. And my grandmother was, old school Southern grandmother. And when we would go to her house, she would feed us. That was just one thing that they did. You were never hungry. And but she would always tell us, don't waste the food because someone had to pay for it. So I use the concept of waste nothing as part of my um, storytelling, and I incorporate her. And the waste nothing comes from all of these things that we consider to be negative things in our lives. Don't waste it. It will suit a purpose if you decide you want to use it, whether it's a reading disability, whether it's being bullied, whether all those things you can still glean from those opportunities if you allow yourself to. So storytelling really takes people to a different level when you're trying to orchestrate a skill or an ability or a possibility. And so that is what I've been able to do. I was always really a creative child from that perspective. I would always write stuff when I was growing up. I was very, very creative. I just wasn't as structured as most people, but I always had all these wonderful ideas. So you use that to kind of put people in a place where they can understand and entertain them at the same time.
Mhm.
So storytelling part is really, and everybody has a story, and that's what I tell the people that I work with. When you come in, the things that you think are significant will be so significant to somebody else. So learn to tell your story. Learn to share what your experience has been, and that will elevate others. And it's just the foundation for coaching because you want to help them elevate their story. It doesn't necessarily everybody needs to be a speaker or a reader or whatever,
Mhm.
but it just means that you just come to terms with your journey and recognize that your journey is not just for you, first of all, and that what do you get out of it? You've got to go back and collect those things, and that's where the storytelling comes into play.
Yeah. I was just thinking as you were explaining that, Queen, about, how storytelling is so important. Just, telling your story, like you said, because you never know how you're helping others and giving them hope through your story. the things that you went through. And I was going to ask you too, Queen, as being on the coach side of things, when you hear somebody's story, does that help you really understand more of how you can help them? I mean, how do you use that? Is that like one of the techniques that you use?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because you have to meet people where they are, Miss Barbara. And when you get a reflective, and I call it reflective antidote, but it's just their reflection, it just allows you to help them more. Because their story, of course, is their story. But it also gives you their perspective about themselves, about the world, about what they think they're capable of. And so I'm listening very attentively when it comes to that part. And so then we orchestrate a plan based on what they've shared with me, but based on what they want to achieve as well. And but yeah, that is so impactful in all aspects of the coaching realm, whether it be for the coach to coach or what they eventually want to share with others.
Yes. I know because it gives you a chance to, like, I like how you mentioned that you can create an individual type of coaching for them, because I feel like it's nothing I mean, it's not like everybody's the same. And I hate when sometimes coaches come in and say, okay, everybody will do the same thing, the same platform, same exercise, same whatever. And it's like, well, wait a minute, I'm everybody has a different type of, creativity here, or they have their certain gifts, and we're all following the same thing. That's not going to work. But I like what you do. You take it and you listen to what they have to say, and you basically take that and say, okay, this is something that I can work with you. Now, saying that, when a person does come in and wants to work with you, Queen, um, what's kind of the steps to take besides, telling their story and understanding them? What other steps do you kind of take, just to give us a little idea?
Well, when they come in, of course, we do that initial conversation where we kind of talk about what they want to achieve. And then we kind of break it down into what I call achievable. Because one of the reasons they're coming to a coach in the first place, many people thought about doing things all the time, but it's like overwhelming to them when they think about it, or they don't have the knowledge to put it into place. So we kind of go through that process of breaking those things down. Now, whether they come in under just they've got one thing they want to work on, or if they go through what I have a couple of different coaching programs where we're focusing on certain things, but I still construct it for them. So, for instance, if they want to start a business, which is I work with a lot of business owners, but I also work with people that want to be leaders. So we go and we talk about, okay, what kind of business do you want? What type of client are you looking for? Because you have to be looking at that. So we go very, very deep into that aspect. What do you want to look like in 2 to 3 years? So we do a lot of that because it's very important. It sets the foundation for everything they want to do. And then we set things that are achievable. You can do this by this time. You can do this by this. It gives them some accountability. And then what I orchestrate more so because I'm a mindset coach in addition to that, and I do that, and that's where the embracing abundance thing came from. Thinking abundantly, thinking about the possibilities, thinking about what you can accomplish. So part of that strategy is incorporating mindset techniques in addition to them learning how to build a business. You got to develop a certain mindset for business. You got to develop a certain mindset for yourself. And so we work on those as well as part of our dynamic, working on the mind and shifting those thinking so we can develop a success mindset while you're learning how to be a business owner as well.
I love that. I love that you brought that in, Queen, because I feel like in any coaching, the mindset has to start first. I mean, you can say what you want to do, anything, people can be talking and stuff, but you have to make sure that that mindset is there and believe that you can do it. And I like how you work through that with your clients at the beginning part of it. You said, doing exercises, making sure that they understand what they really want. Because sometimes, I've noticed, and I don't know if you noticed this with some of your clients, they'll come and they'll be like, Coach Sharon, I just want to, be this golf player. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, okay, well, let's work on that. And then when you listen to them, like you said, you hear the story, you do the mindset exercise with them, you come to find out maybe it wasn't just they want to play golf. Maybe they want to own a golf.
Right.
Or maybe they want to start a business and help other people own a business like that. So, you dig a little bit deeper in just, this the service part of it. Just saying, oh, I just want to play golf. Just use an example. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important to get that deep down. And the mindset thing that you mentioned is so important because you got to shift that thinking. You got to get rid of those limiting beliefs because entrepreneurship is a challenge and there are going to be some roadblocks. And so you're going to have to be able to push through those as well. So that's why the mindset is just so, and not just in what we're doing, but it's just in everything. Because it's when I shifted my thinking, I was able to accomplish things. When I shifted what I was capable of doing, I was able to accomplish things. It's all about what we think here. It happens in the mind first. So
Yes. You got to believe it and visualize that you're there. I always tell people, always put that in the front of your, eyes is I visualize it. I can see myself being a business owner in this particular industry. Because we always let all those beliefs come in first saying, well, I don't have the education, I don't have the time, I don't have the money. All that starts to ramble off and you're like, okay, let's push all that aside. Let's say that you had all that, or do you have to even worry about that? What would you do?
right, exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I want to ask you too, Queen, going back to your expertise. I mean, so much what you have, especially in the corporate world. And I always ask people a lot of times, how are some of the tools or some of the skills that you learned there is really helping you in what you're doing now in your own coaching business?
Oh, tremendously. The leadership part, of course, is the most dynamic. But when I was a leader, I had to learn how to, create business plans and adhere to a budget and hire people and develop people. All of that is what you have to learn to do if you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to grow your business or scale your business. So all of those were applicable. So, and because it was more business minded, that's why I elected to help business owners, because I know how the corporate world runs their business. So I can show you how to run yours. There are a lot of similarities, and of course there are some caveats there, but the premise is the same. You got to have a plan. You have to execute the plan. You're going to have people involved in that. So all of that I was able to get from the corporate world. And as I mentioned earlier, also the what I call stewardship or community stewardship, I was able to get from there as well. I had some of that because I was doing local things ever since I was a child, helping in the church and whatnot. But it expanded because I worked for a corporation that was really good on corporate social responsibility. And so that is what I bring to the coaching piece, because one of the things I say to my clients is, okay, we've got all these wonderful things we want to do for you. You providing a service is also helping people, but what else are you going to do for your community? What else? You have to have that in the back of your mind as an entrepreneur to extend upon that. So those are some of the things that I was able to extract from the corporate world and bring with me to my business.
That's a lot of things that you bring to the table. You got a lot of, like I said, those special gifts that you have from the corporate world that you've learned that you can bring into your coaching. I love how you mentioned about, business plans and how to, deal with certain personalities when hiring people, when talking to people, when leading people. I mean, that alone is like a gem, because everybody has different personalities that you're going to deal with. You got to be like, okay, how do I deal with this person compared to this, and then on top of that, letting them know I need to help them.
Yeah,
I need to be your coach on this issue, and then just really paving the way on strategic stuff that you do as well. Yeah, I mean, I love the skills that you taken from that, because I tell people you always have to have a plan. And a lot of times people just kind of just go out there and then they're trying to figure out why things not working out. And the first thing you probably ask them is like, okay, did you have a plan? Did you put any things in place? Did you? Well, I thought everybody else was doing it, so I'll do it too.
exactly.
And
And businesses don't achieve and thrive just because you want them to. It's a very good, wonderful, and I've heard this. You maybe heard this terminology as well. A business without a plan is just a big wish. You've got to have some type of plan. We can always think about those things, but execution is the thing that gets people. So
yes, execution.
thank God for the coaches. We're the execution piece. That's what I always say.
Yes, thank God for Coach Sharon. Love it, love it. Well, Queen, I want to make sure that you give some love and some last, just golden nuggets to people before we end. But I just want to say again, thank you for coming, because I always want to make sure I say this before we say anything else. Is I thank you for coming on the Coaches Lounge and giving those golden nuggets you gave already to show people, first of all, what you do for people, that you are a cheerleader, that you have a heart for them. It's not just, okay, let me just tag you along to be another client, but you really sink in and you really want to get to know a person so you can help them in the areas that they need. So I thank you for helping others doing that, because that is so important, especially now and nowadays, that we need to have that compass, as I kept tell people. So I'll be right back. I'll let you leave your gold nugget and we'll continue after that.
Okay, wonderful. One of the things that I think is very important when it comes to mindset, we have to develop the thing in our mind that allows us to go to the next level. And so, what I often tell people is it happens first in your mind and then it happens in real life. So, I encourage you today to think about those things you want to do and visualize yourself doing them. And once you do that, that is the first step. Because if you can't see it, then a lot of times you have to make it there. You have to materialize it in yourself before you can actually see it. And that is one of the things I want to leave you. The second thing is have a plan. Planning is instrumental in everything that we do. A good plan will take you that a place that talent sometimes won't, because planning gives you what I call intentionality. Be intentional in everything that you do. Intentionality is what speaks life into a process, into a business, into a person. Thank you very much.
Oh my God. OMG. I hope people had a pen and paper with them, because that was some golden nuggets. And then you know what? If you didn't get it, you can always rewatch this wonderful interview with this queen. Oh my gosh, Sharon. I just have to say, Queen, amazing, amazing. I'm just so, like I said, humbled that you are out there helping so many businesses, so many people, so many individuals really just find their way abundantly in their life to make sure that they're going to the next level of what they can do, and that they can do it. It's not, don't have to be, like you said, just a wish or a dream. It could be a reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
So for sure, for sure. So thank you again, Queen. I just want to say to everybody else, um, oh, also, Queen, just let them know how they can contact you. I want to make sure that they get a chance to contact you.
Yes, the first way is reaching out on my website, which is embracingabundancelifecoaching.com. And for those of you that reach there, I have a free gift that you can take advantage of. But I'm also on all the social media platforms as well. Because of my background, LinkedIn is one of, as well as Facebook and Instagram. So hit me up on those. I would love to hear from you. And just so you can kind of see some of the content that we're putting out there, we are trying to be very positive in nature, encouraging, but also we want people just to know that the sky is the limit. It is so much the limit.
Sky is the limit. Yes. There's no, don't see no, there's no glass ceiling like, oh, I can't get up. I can't get up there. Keep it going. Keep moving forward. And wouldn't you love to just work with this wonderful queen to do that? So please reach out to her. She's on all social media. And if you're like, well, I still can't, no worries, I can find her. Well, you contact me and I have the hookup. I can contact her. So with that said, thank you again, Queen, for coming on the Coaches Lounge. Everybody, this is, like I said, a platform to spotlight experts and advice for life and personal. Always remember, everybody needs a coach. Oprah had a coach. She has coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to learn and grow as you're moving up the ladder in your world, in your gifts. Make sure that you have somebody there always giving you, being a cheerleader for you, just like Queen Sharon is. We will see you at the next Coaches Lounge. You take care.